My informative speech topic is your calling, your spiritual work, your spiritual career, so to speak, if you will, and if the professor give me a little lenience. The general purpose is both to inform and to persuade. This is a sad statistic, but 8 to 10% of all church members are doing all the work, no matter what denomination you're talking about. And 90% of church members are coming to services and going home and not really doing much work. You know, I just don't believe that that's God's call for our life. I believe God has a call for every Christian, a spiritual career, if you will, and I'm just trying to inform you of that. The specific purpose is to inform and persuade my audience about their spiritual call and their spiritual work, its rewards, and how though you may have a bright career in front of you that I hope God uses to His glory, I know that God has a spiritual career for you to share your faith, and that He'll use to share your faith and your testimony that will bring glory to Him if you seek out what God's spiritual work for you is. The reward's a little different. We go to work to get a pay and health benefits and to provide for our family in the natural, but the spiritual works are along the lines of what Jesus would have said. He said, lay not up on the earth treasures where people will steal, they will break through and rob, or where moth and rust will corrupt. But lay up for yourself treasures in the heavens where thieves can't break through and steal, where moth and rust cannot corrupt. This is you get through your spiritual career, your spiritual calling. Through sharing your faith. The thesis statement is, if you have a heart for people and desire to live your life in the will of God, if you value and trust God to do a work in you and through you, then finding your spiritual calling is of the utmost importance. My persuasive speech is along the same lines of sharing your faith. The general purpose is to inform you of the power of it. So many people don't understand the power of sharing their faith. Let me read you a verse in Revelation 12:11, King James Version. And they overcame him. The him there is the devil. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Your testimony has power. I remember witnessing to a guy at Walmart about 6'6", had tattoos coming down his face, had leather chaps and a leather Harley vest on. And I said, sir, I know you don't know me, but I'd like to share my testimony with you. I shared my testimony with you, told him I was sorry to bother him. I left, and as I turned around and looked at him, he never said a word, but I saw a big tear welling up in his eye. And God used my testimony to touch that man's heart, and so God will use your testimony and your spiritual call to touch people's lives as well. Think about the story of Legion, and that's what I'm going to use for my visual aid is a before and after picture of Legion before he met Christ and how he shared his faith afterwards. In the story, Jesus cast out thousands of demons out of this man. That's what the word Legion means. It means between 2,000 and 6,000. The Legion wasn't his name, as the thousands of demons in him were called Legion. And when Jesus cast them into the pigs drowned himself, and the people asked Jesus to depart from their coast because they thought he'd killed the pigs. But when Jesus went to depart, the man that had the legion, who was now clothed and in his right mind, says, Lord, I want to go with you. You know, that's the way I felt when I got saved. Lord, I'm ready to go to heaven. Take me to heaven. But Jesus told the man that had the legions, no, stay here and tell the people the good things that God has done for you. And if you keep reading, all the city marveled and all of his friends marveled at the good things that God has done for him. And that's what I want to try to get across to you, that God will use you to make people marvel of how He's about your testimony and your spiritual walk. My thesis statement for that is sharing your faith and giving your testimony is something that God will use all your life to touch people's hearts for Him. Thank you, and God bless.